Overseas now, because the Trump administration is facing a growing backlash over heavy redactions in newly released files relating to the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Yesterday, the Department of Justice released the first tranche of long-awaited files in line with a deadline set by Congress.
Our Global Affairs editor Laura Tingle joins us now in the studio. As Joe was saying there, this is long-awaited. The DOJ then released the files, not all of them though, and they're heavily redacted. What's been the response?
It's been going from bad to worse as a response, and as you say, heavily redacted. Not all the files. A lot of the files are actually photos of suitcases or plastic bags or blank pages, in addition to the redaction. So while there have been thousands of items released, a lot of it hasn't had any substantive information. But what I think is now becoming really bad for the Trump administration and for the Justice Department in particular is that photos that were there when the files first went up yesterday have disappeared. And guess what? They included pictures of Donald Trump. So there's already outrage about the lack of information, not just from political figures, but from victims who are hoping to finally have it confirmed, what had happened to them. But the fact that there's so much funny business going on in the release, and now these withdrawn photos, which everybody who got onto the website early, including journalists, have seen. But it's, any attempt by President Trump to have basically buried this story has sort of spectacularly backfired.
Yeah. This has been quite divisive in Trump's MAGA base and in the Republican Party as well. What's been their response?
Well, I think the right has been split still. Marjorie Taylor Greene is leading the outrage about the less than satisfactory release. Some people are still saying, oh, it's wonderful, it's the greatest show of transparency in American.
This is not just a leak, folks. This is a deliberate, in-your-face slap to every American who believes in justice and truth. What you just heard, that's the sound of our trust being shredded right before our very eyes. The Department of Justice, the very institution meant to uphold the law, is now being accused of breaking it, of actively hiding critical evidence in one of the most disgusting cases of our lifetime. If you're not outraged, you're not paying attention. And if you want to stay ahead of these bombshells, hit that subscribe button right now, because we're diving deep into the abyss they want to keep hidden. What just happened is simple yet sickening. The DOJ, under intense pressure, finally released some documents related to Jeffrey Epstein. But here's the kicker. They weren't the full, unredacted files the public, and frankly, the law demanded. We're talking about a heavily censored, incomplete mess. Think about it. Congress, through the Epstein Files Transparency Act, told the DOJ, you have 30 days. Give us everything. And what did we get? A partial, almost insulting response. Lawmakers from both sides of the aisle, and that alone tells you how serious this is, are screaming foul. Representative Khanna, a Democrat, and Representative Thomas Massie, a Republican, are united in their fury, alleging the DOJ flat-out violated the law. They're not just saying information was withheld, they're claiming files, crucial files, have simply disappeared from the public record. And get this, a specific photo, a photo of a former president with Epstein, is among the vanished items. This isn't about politics. This is about fundamental transparency, about knowing the truth behind a monster who preyed on the innocent and whether powerful people protected him. It matters because if the DOJ can pick and choose what the public sees in a case this high profile, what else are they hiding? What else have they hidden? This isn't just about Epstein. It's about the integrity of our justice system and whether it truly serves us or just those in power. Why is this so incredibly serious? Because it strikes at the very heart of what America is supposed to be. We are a nation of laws where no one, especially not those tasked with enforcing justice, is above them. When the Department of Justice, the ultimate guardian of those laws, stands accused of defying an act of Congress, an act specifically designed to bring light to one of the darkest corners of our society. It's not just a minor scandal, it's a crisis of trust. This isn't some procedural mix-up, this is an alleged deliberate act of obstruction. The Epstein Files Transparency Act wasn't just a suggestion, it was a mandate. A direct order from the people's representatives to shed full light on a case that has haunted this nation for years. For the DOJ to release a redacted, incomplete set of documents and to allegedly disappear others like that explosive photo, it suggests a conscious effort to keep certain truths buried. This isn't just unusual. It's practically unprecedented for such a clear, direct legal requirement to be met with such apparent defiance. What makes this even more alarming is the potential motive. Who benefits from these files remaining hidden? Who are they protecting? And perhaps more chillingly, what information within those vanished files is so damaging that it justifies risking contempt of Congress or even impeachment proceedings against DOJ officials? Americans deserve better than this. We deserve a justice system that is truly blind, truly transparent, and truly accountable. We deserve to know that when our government promises transparency, it delivers. Not just a carefully curated version of the truth. This isn't just about legal definitions. It's about the very foundation of our democracy and our right to know. The reactions are exactly what you'd expect. A powder keg exploding. Lawmakers, as I mentioned, are absolutely incandescent with rage. And this isn't just a partisan issue. You have Republicans and Democrats, like Massie and Khanna, echoing each other's outrage, which is a rare sight in Washington these days. This isn't just about a technical violation, it's about a fundamental breakdown of trust between branches of government. Critics are arguing that this is a blatant attempt to protect powerful individuals who may have been involved with Epstein or who at least knew about his monstrous activities and did nothing. They're saying the DOJ is effectively stonewalling, using redactions and alleged disappearances to shield the guilty. Sources close to congressional committees are whispering about the sheer audacity of it all, how the DOJ is essentially daring Congress to do something about it. The tension is palpable. On one side, you have Congress, backed by public outcry, demanding full disclosure. On the other, you have the DOJ seemingly digging in its heels, offering up crumbs and expecting us to be satisfied. The media, too, is in a frenzy, and rightly so. This isn't some obscure bureaucratic squabble. It's a direct challenge to the very concept of government accountability. Every major news outlet is dissecting the redactions, speculating on the missing files, and highlighting the growing chorus of voices demanding answers. The public reaction is a mix of anger, frustration, and a growing sense of cynicism. People are tired of being told one thing and seeing another. They're tired of powerful institutions seemingly playing by a different set of rules. This isn't just about the files anymore. It's about the integrity of our institutions and whether they truly serve the people or a privileged few. The pressure on the DOJ is intensifying daily, and the stakes couldn't be higher. But the story doesn't end with a few angry speeches. We are seeing an escalation that could shake the very pillars of the government. The legal threats being thrown around right now aren't just for show. Lawmakers are talking about the I word, impeachment. They are looking at Attorney General Pam Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and saying, if you won't follow the law we wrote, you shouldn't be in those seats. This is a massive deal. Think about the gravity of impeaching the top law enforcement officials in the country because they refuse to be transparent about a child sex trafficker, and it's a move that would set the political world on fire. But it's not just impeachment. There's the threat of contempt of Congress. That's a fancy way of saying the DOJ is in open rebellion against the people's representatives. Some leaders are even suggesting inherent contempt, which is a rarely used power where Congress can actually send its own officials to arrest those who defy them. Imagine that the sergeant at arms taking DOJ officials into custody because they hid the truth about Jeffrey Epstein. And why are they so worried? because the redactions are just too much. We're talking about pages and pages of solid black ink. One grand jury transcript was over 100 pages long, and almost every single word was blacked out. They claim they are protecting victims, but the public isn't buying it. People are asking, are you protecting victims, or are you protecting the powerful men who were in those rooms? The tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. You have the DOJ claiming they need more time, saying they'll release more files in the coming weeks, but the law was clear, 30 days. Not 30 days plus a few extra weeks when it's convenient. This delay is being seen as a calculated move to bury the most damaging information during the holiday season, hoping we'll all be too busy to notice, but we are noticing. The survivors are noticing. They've been waiting decades for justice, and they're saying this is just one more failure in a long line of them. They feel betrayed by the system that was supposed to finally have their backs. So what could happen next? We are heading into a season of total uncertainty and high stakes if the DOJ doesn't hand over the rest of those files, unredacted, by the end of the year. We are looking at a full-blown constitutional crisis. Congress isn't going to let this go. They've already signaled that they are exploring all options, which includes referring officials for criminal prosecution for obstruction of justice. Think about the irony of the Department of Justice being investigated for obstructing justice. It sounds like a movie script, but it's happening in real life. We could see subpoenas flying, secret hearings becoming public, and a massive legal battle that goes all the way to the Supreme Court. The stakes couldn't be higher because this isn't just about one man anymore. And it's about whether the Epstein Class, that group of rich, powerful, and protected individuals, finally has to face the music. Will the missing files suddenly reappear? Will that photo of Trump and Epstein that everyone is talking about finally see the light of day? Or will it accidentally be deleted from a server somewhere? The next few weeks will determine if we live in a country where the truth can be bought and buried, or if the light finally wins, the world is watching, and the clock is ticking. This is a turning point for our country. We have to decide if we're okay with a government that keeps secrets to protect its own, or if we demand a total cleaning of the house. The truth is out there, buried under layers of black ink and lost files, but it won't stay hidden forever if we keep up the pressure. But I want to know what you think. Do you believe the DOJ is actually protecting victims, or is this the biggest cover-up we've seen in decades? Do you think those missing files will ever be found? Or are they gone for good? Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. I read every single one of them. And look, if you want to make sure you don't miss the next update on this, make sure you like this video and hit that subscribe button. We are staying on top of this story until every single page is public. Don't let them bury the truth. Stay tuned, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one.